Well, hey, hello there, YouTube land. Just finished doing the transfer case cross member on the P407, and now I'm working on sorry, the next phase of this project, and that would be doing an axle flip if we can. All right, so as you can see, here's our drive shaft. You can see how it crosses over like this, right? So if I do an axle flip, that should bring this differential over closer to this side, right? So I'll give it more of a straight on, maybe, let's just say, something like that, right? Maybe a little bit more, but just something like that. All right, so the axle flip I'm talking about isn't what you'll most likely be thinking about. Normally, typically when you do an axle flip, we're taking the axle from, sorry, well that fell out, the bottom of the leaf spring right here and putting it on top, right? But instead, I'm just going to take it and do this, okay? Now, it seems that I put the rear axle in upside down already anyway. So if you take a look and I go and I turn the wheel, these rear wheels forward, pay attention to the front axle. Whoops, gotta put the drive shaft in. Okay, so I got the drive pin in. Now if I go and I turn the rear wheels forward, you notice that the front wheels go backwards, right? So what I did is I accidentally put this in upside down, which I didn't notice until earlier. So what we're going to do is going to go ahead and flip this front axle. Going to do some suspension changes as long as we're here. So I came out here because I was just thinking about it, and I thought, well, I'd tell you all about what I got going on here. The only thing that would have held it up would be if I had nowhere to mount this arm right here for the steering. But it looks like there's holes on the top and on the bottom, so I can mount that in there. So it should not be a big thing. That's going to give it a lot more clearance. I was not going to put the skid plate back on anyway, but you know, it'll give it clearance. Sure, it's going to hit the differential, but let's get going on that. I've been working on steering today. I might have that straightened out, I'm not sure, but yeah, actually I may have to move it back a little bit. Yeah. So depending on how everything turns out up here, I may have to move this here up, so at least this part is flush up against there. So alright, so I'm going to go ahead and take the springs completely off so we can go ahead and flip things around and just stick around, because then we're going to see what the end result is. Alright guys, here it is. It is possible to flip it, okay? Couple issues like always. I mean, there's always something, seems like. This tie rod end right here, I'm going to have to do something different with that, because where it's at right now with the axle flipped is it will not mount, and unless I take these screws out on the end and put some real ones in there with some ball mounts or whatever, they will not work, which I might have. I mean, I don't know. That's a little big, but yeah, anyway, I think that's a success. what we have going on here. I just flipped it over and I moved the steering arm over, and actually you probably seen that I took one of the leaves out in the front right here, and take a look at the drive line now. It is basically straight, right? And I could, if I wanted to, depending on how this is looking, I could tilt it this way a little bit. So alright, so there it is. It's straight, not binding. I mean, that servo horn may not be where it's at right now. I may have to modify that, but I'm still working on fine-tuning this steering right here. So anyway, hopefully you like this one. Been working kind of hard on it. As you've seen, I took the shocks off, so we're going to come up with something different as far as that goes on shock mounts. And apparently I had a pivot point up here that was hanging up because it seems to be moving a lot more free now. And these shocks, I took the springs out ages ago, so probably reuse these boots, put them on something else, you know, just to keep it that way. But I do have some other shocks here that I can reuse off of other projects, so hopefully you liked what I had going on here. It looked like the only true solution. And you know, if we're worried about going, you know, backwards, that's the beauty about brushed or, you know, brushless, is that, you know, you can just, you know, everything turns the correct direction. So it's a good thing I screwed up the rear end, because yeah, the only thing I need to do in the back now is looks like I got a few things in the wrong place, so I got to fix that. And looks like I may have had a couple of these brackets, actually maybe both of them, upside down. So alright, so hopefully you like this one. I'm working pretty hard on it. I'm trying to get this to be a roller. I know that a while back I said something about, you know, don't want to bore you with one project, but I kind of get fixated, especially when I start working on stuff. So alright, I think that'll wrap it up for this one. Remember, keep fixing, keep building, fabricate, and create, because that's what all this is about.